Welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily. Funny story, I forgot my mic. I came all the way to the studio and I forgot my mic. So today's going to be a voice recording and we're just going to have to deal with it. If that's okay with you, let's start in child's pose. So you can make your way there with the knees wide apart, big toes touching, and just resting the forehead on the mat. Arms reach out in front of you. Start by tuning into your breath and becoming aware of the space around you. For today's heart opening practice, I invite you to move through a place of love, of self-love and compassion for yourself. We're going to start by rounding the spine forward and making our way into a high cobra, peeling the chest open. Deep breath in here as you open up the heart space. And then exhaling, let's lower the chest to the ground. And breathing in, baby cobra with the assistance of the hands or without. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Inhale one more time, lift, open up the heart, engage the back muscles. Exhale to lower. And let's make our way all the way back to child's pose. Go ahead and walk the hands back to your knees. Let's lift the chest. Hands rest on the knees and imagine you're holding an imaginary block. Let's lift that imaginary block above the head and then bring it back down to the knees, making sure you're squeezing the ribs in and keeping the spine nice and long. Let's do that one more time. And then hands to the heart space, breathe out. Let's go ahead and lift the hips off the heels, engaging the core, engaging the glutes, and trying to keep your whole body nice and straight. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower. Hands can do whatever you want. So you should feel that in the thighs. Now let's go ahead and tuck the toes, sit back on your heels, lean back, lift the knees, and ground the heels. Rounding the spine, let's reach the arms forward, tucking the chin into the chest. Hold it there. On your next inhale, let's lift the chest, come onto the toes, open up the knees, and cactus the arms. Reach them behind you, opening up the heart. Exhaling, drop the heels around your spine, reach the arms forward. Inhale to open, come onto the toes, separate the knees, cactus the arms. Exhale, bring the knees together, heels to the floor, round forward. Inhale to open. Exhale to round. Let's come into a forward fold, lifting the hips up high. And deep breath in, halfway lift, lengthening the backs of the legs and the spine. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Let's roll up the spine, high mountain, reaching the arms above the head. And then interlacing all 10 fingers behind the back of the head. Breathe in as you separate the elbows, open up the chest. Exhale, bring chin to the chest and round your upper back. Inhale, open. Exhale to round. Inhale, open. Exhale to round and then pause here. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, bring your forehead to the rib cage or belly button. Deep breath in. Exhale, forehead to hips. Inhale. Exhale, forehead to thighs. Inhale. Exhale, forehead to knees, and then bend the knees as much as you need to so that the forehead is glued to the knees. Let's hold there. See if you can straighten your legs a little bit more. And on your next inhale, chair pose, keeping the bind of the arms. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, let's interlace the hands at the lower back and open up the heart space a little bit more. Find a little bit of a back bend here. Keep bending the knees a lot. And then on your next exhale, let's fold forward, chin into the chest, arms lift off your back, and trying to keep the palms of the hands connected. Let's release the hands down, halfway lift as you breathe in, and then walk the hands all the way up to the top of the mat for high plank. Exhale, lower halfway, chaturanga. Inhale into upward facing dog. Exhale into child's pose. Let's go ahead and thread the needle. Right arm slides underneath the left shoulder. You can look underneath the left shoulder. Breathing deeply into the belly. And then make your way back to child's pose. Left arm slides underneath the right shoulder. Thread the needle. And make your way back to child's pose and then into tabletop with a rounded back for a few rounds of cat and cow, adding any other movement that feels good. So maybe the hips move side to side, or figure eights, or barrel rolls, which feel really, really nice. Just move in a way that feels loving towards yourself, that feels great. Making our way back to a neutral spine, let's extend the right leg back. Exhale, knee to nose, round the spine for 3, 2, and 1. Come on to the fingertips, hold it there, flex the right toes, and then step the right foot between the hands. Anjanasana, reaching the arms up, and then let's cactus the arms to open up the chest. And breathing in, maybe reach the arms up and find a little bit of a deeper back bend if it feels nice. And then as you breathe out, let's come into a vertical twist. Left arm reaches forward, right arm reaches back. Left hand will come down on the mat underneath the left shoulder. Let's kick the right leg back and come into a back bend. Right hand can hold the right ankle. Inhale to release. Bring the right hand back down. Reach your left arm forward and then round knee to nose for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale to extend, bend your right knee, left arm reaches back. Let's catch the top of the right foot for tiger curl. Lifting, pushing out of your right hand, gazing forward. Slowly release. Let's extend the left arm forward, right leg back, and then bring it out to the side. Try to lift your right leg up as high as you can. And then let's drop the right foot down. Go ahead and sit behind your left foot as if you're doing Janu Shavasana. And we will fold or side bend over the right leg. So right elbow can come down on the mat or on your right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over. And breathing in, let's straighten the spine. Let's cross the right foot over the left knee. We're coming into a twist. Right hand behind you. Left arm reaches up as you breathe in. Exhale, twist to the right. And deep breaths here. Inhaling as you lengthen the spine and open up the chest. Exhaling as you squeeze navel in. Now let's unwind from the twist. Left hand comes behind us. Let's push into the left hand, lift the hips, come into Prasarita facing the back of the mat, swaying side to side here for a few breaths. And then releasing the hands down, halfway lift, inhale, turn the toes out, heels in for Malasana Yogi Squat. Elbows stay connected to the knees. Let's lift the hips 90 degrees and lower. Lift and lower. So when you lift, the back comes parallel to the ground, more or less. 2 more. And then reaching the arms forward, let's come into a low boat all the way down to the mat. And it's a hold. Maybe the arms reach above the head to make it harder. Squeeze navel in. Try to keep your middle back grounded on the mat. Arms can always reach towards the feet. Now as you breathe in, let's come into high boat. Drop both feet down on the mat. Feet are hip width distance apart. And then let's come into a reverse tabletop, fingers pointing towards the feet. Head can drop back if it feels okay. And release the hips back down on the mat. Let's cross the shins, plant the hands, step back or jump back. Chaturanga, maybe adding a few push-ups. And then into your up dog. And downward facing dog. And let's go ahead and drop the knees down on the mat for tabletop. Extend your left leg back and up. And let's bring knee to nose for 3, 2, rounding the spine a lot. And 1, come onto the fingertips to make a little more space. Flex the left toes and step the left foot between the hands. Anjanasana, cactus the arms, open up the heart. And really engaging the glutes, pressing the hips forward and down, maybe extending the arms overhead to deepen the back bend if it feels okay. And then exhale, vertical twist to the left. Right arm reaches forward, left arm reaches back. Right hand comes down on the mat. Let's kick the left leg back. And then the left hand can hold the top of the left foot for a back bend. Gently release. Let's bring the left hand down. Keep your left leg in the air. And then right arm reaches forward, extend. Exhale, round. Inhale to reach. Exhale, round. Now let's bend the left knee. Right hand can hold the top of the left foot for tiger curl. Kick up and gaze forward. Gently release. Let's reach the right arm forward, left leg back, and then bring them out to the side. So right arm out to the right, left leg out to the left, lifting it up as high as possible. And then let's lower the left foot down. Go ahead and roll over your right foot. So we're sitting at the back of the mat. Right foot is on the inner left thigh. And let's side bend over the left leg, lengthening the whole right side body. Breathing in, let's straighten the spine, and we're going to now cross the left foot over the right knee for a seated twist. The left hand comes behind you, right arm reaches up, and let's twist to the left. Trying to bring that right thumb at the center of the chest. And keep opening up the heart here. To unwind, let's bring the right hand behind us, push into the right hand, lift the knees off the mat, pivot into Prasarita facing the back of the mat. Here you can fold a little bit deeper, maybe holding the backs of the ankles, or swaying side to side again, whatever you prefer. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Exhale, Malasana, turning the toes out, heels in. Now let's just hold the fingertips and come back to Prasarita, and then into Malasana. So if the feet are parallel to each other, that's perfect. And let's do that 3 more times. So coming into Prasarita, straightening the legs, into Malasana, keeping the arms on the insides of the knees. And release the bind of the feet, halfway lift, inhale, heel toe the feet together. Option to come into a crow pose here. And then maybe step or jump back, chaturanga or vinyasa, back to downward facing dog. Let's come high on the toes, bend the knees, look forward, step or float into an active squat. Inhale, reach the arms above the head. Now let's twist open to the right, left hand on the mat, and then come back through center. Inhale, twist open to the left. Exhale, come back through center. Inhale, reach the arms up high, straighten the legs, heel toe the feet together. Mountain pose. High mountain, breathe in, come high on your toes, and then lower the hips all the way down to the heels. Plant the hands, optional crow pose, and step or jump back, chaturanga. Vinyasa, all the way back to downward facing dog. I know it's confusing. When I say chaturanga, I typically mean vinyasa. Some of you have pointed that out. Okay, let's come high on the toes, bend the knees, step or float, active squat, inhale. And again, twist open to the right. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, twist open to the left. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, stand up tall, heel toe the feet together. Exhale, hands to the heart space. Come high on the toes. Slowly lower hips to heels. Hands can find the floor, optional crow pose once again, and then we will all step or jump back through a vinyasa. all the way back to down dog. On your next inhale, right leg reaches up high. Let's bend the right knee, open up the hip, and start to circle the right leg anti-clockwise. We're going to stop the circles and flip the dog over into Wild Thing. Now you can either stay in Wild Thing or bend your left knee, tap the right knee on the floor 3 times. Inhaling to straighten the left leg, exhale to bend the left knee. And then come back to Wild Thing. Now let's bring the right knee to the right elbow. So lifting that right foot off the mat 3 times. Third one, right elbow sticks to the right knee. Let's step the right foot to the top right corner of the mat. Reach your right arm forward and then kick the left leg through into almost pistol squat. Step the left foot back. Side angle pose, right hand comes down on the mat, left arm reaches up and over. Maybe a half bind, left elbow bends behind the back, maybe a full bind, right arm joins. Side angle pose as you breathe in, let's open up the arms and then come into Skandasana on the right leg and then over to the left, over to the right again, and one more time back to the left. Right hand comes down on the floor, left arm reaches up. Let's come into a lunge and then turn onto the outer blades of the feet, but keep your hips up high. So we're stretching the left side body. Now left arm will circle back and down, come into chair pose and airplane chair. Hold. Breathing in, high mountain, drop the heels. Exhale, cactus the arms, open up the heart. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale to fold forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Let's plant the hands, step back, high plank, and for some push-ups, let's go for 3, 2, 1, chaturanga. Push-ups are always optional. I just love to add them in sometimes. And we meet in downward facing dog. Now the left leg rises, bend the left knee, open up the hip. Let's circle the hip. And then on your third circle, let's make our way into Wild Thing, flipping the dog. You can either stay there or let's bend the right leg, tapping left knee to the floor for 3, 2, 1. Now let's keep the right leg straight, left knee into left elbow for 3, 2, 1. Keep knee and elbow glued, left foot steps to the top left corner of the mat, left arm reaches forward, kick the right leg through, and then step the right foot back. Side angle pose, inhale, grounding that right heel, and then maybe go for the bind. On your next inhale, open up the arms, Skandasana on the left leg, staying as low as possible, come into Skandasana to the right and left. And then one more time to the right. Left hand finds the floor. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Turn onto the outer blades of the feet. And then maybe right arm reaches over your right ear. It feels really nice. Keep lifting the hips up high. Now let's circle the right arm back and down. Look forward. Come into chair pose. Inhale, 1 fluid movement. Exhale, airplane chair. Now let's bring the hips all the way down to the heels and rock back and forth. Let's come into chair pose. Exhale, rock back. Inhale, chair. Exhale, rock back. You can help yourself with the hands. Inhale, chair. Exhale, back to airplane chair. High mountain rise. Maybe cactus the arms to open up the heart. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Let's go. Push-ups for 3, 2, 1. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. and downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, maybe a deep breath in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And then let's come high on the toes, breathe in, exhale, bend the knees, look forward, step or float to the top of the mat. Active squat into Malasana. Now let's bring the right hand behind us, fingers point away from the feet, and then press into the feet, lift the hips. Left arm reaches back. And then let's rebend the knees, come back to Malasana. Left hand comes behind you and same thing. Press into the heels, lift the hips. Right arm reaches back. So you're trying to open up the chest here. Maybe right hand tries to touch the floor. Come back to Malasana, breathing in. Right hand comes behind you, lift the hips. Maybe the left hand does touch the mat, maybe a little bit more than it did before. And then come back to Malasana. Left hand comes down, lift the hips. Come back to Malasana. You can move a little bit faster now, one breath, one movement, or keep the pace where you hold each one. If you're feeling really comfortable in your back, you could go on to do full circles. Just be careful with your wrists. When you do full circles, the fingers will probably point towards each other. So you just have to play around with the rotation of the wrists. Be careful with your back. Remember to keep the glutes engaged. Back bends are all about the legs. And we make our way back to Malasana for a moment. Take your time. And then for a nice long crow pose, let's make our way there and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Step or jump back, chaturanga, upward facing dog into downward facing dog. Now breathing in, right leg rises, bend the right knee, open up the hip, wild thing, but come onto the top of your right foot. If possible, right foot goes as close as possible to the left hand. Let's hold it there. Normal wild thing is also completely fine. And then let's bring the right knee against the right elbow, glue them together, step the right foot to the top right corner of the mat. Right arm reaches forward, let's kick the left leg through, and step the left foot back. Side angle pose, inhale. Exhale for the bind around the right thigh. Now you can either stay there or look down at your right foot, left foot steps to the top of the mat. Maybe start to stand up on your left leg for birds of paradise, extending the right leg out. Let's come back out the same way we came in. So bringing the right foot down, keeping the bind, stepping the left foot to the back of the mat. Inhale, side angle pose. Exhale, Skandasana, and then into star pose, straighten the right leg. Let's circle the right arm by the right hip, crescent lunge to the back of the mat. And then let's cactus the arms, dip the right knee for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Into warrior 3, launch forward, right leg in the air. Let's hold. And bring your hands to the heart space. Breathe in, right knee into the chest or just beside the left knee. For dancer, let's hold the inside of the right foot. Left arm reaches up, and let's kick back and up. Here, try to keep your chest open. Left arm reaches maybe a little bit higher than you normally would. Slowly make your way back out, right knee into the chest. And then into chair pose, sink down, breathe in, breathe out, airplane chair. And breathe in, stand up, high mountain on the toes. Exhale, slowly lower hips to heels. For a very gentle twist, left hand comes on the right knee, right arm reaches behind you. Inhale, arms come back up overhead. Exhale, gentle twist to the left, still balancing on the toes. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, rock back into chair pose, and then fold forward. Let's step or jump back, chaturanga. All the way back to downward facing dog. And breathing in, let's lift the left leg up high, bend the left knee, open up the hip. Wild thing, but maybe on the top of the left foot, almost as if you're trying to touch your right hand with the left toes. And opening up the heart space. And then let's bring the left knee to the left elbow, stick them together, and step the left foot to the top left corner of the mat, nice and controlled. Left arm then reaches forward, kick the right leg through, and then step the right foot back. Side angle pose, breathe in. Let's bind around the left leg. Either stay there or come to the top of the mat for birds of paradise, slowly standing up on the right leg. And only straightening the left leg if you feel very stable in your foundation. And let's come back out the same way we came in, bringing the left foot down to the mat, right foot steps back. Inhale to open up the arms. Exhale, Skandasana, side lunge on the left leg into star pose, breathe in. Left arm circles by the left hip, crescent lunge. Exhale, bend the left knee, cactus the arms. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Into warrior 3, so we're standing on the right leg. Let's bring the hands to the heart space, left knee into the chest or just beside your right knee. For dancer pose, left hand holds the inside of the left foot or ankle, and slowly let's start to kick up. Right arm reaches forward or slightly up, just to encourage the opening of the front body. Gently release. Let's bring the hands to the heart space and then sink down into your chair pose. Breathe in, arms reach. Exhale, airplane chair. Inhale, come high on the toes, high mountain. Exhale, staying on the toes, hips to heels, lower down. Gentle twist. Once again, left hand on the right knee, right arm reaches behind you. Come back through center, and then right hand on the left knee, left arm reaches behind you. Come back through center. Let's plant the hands, step or jump back, chaturanga, into up dog, and back to downward facing dog. Deep breath in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And on your next exhale, let's round forward into a high plank, and then bend the knees, pull the hips back and up, downward facing dog, opening up the chest. Exhale, round forward, high plank. Inhale, open up the chest, down dog. And again, round forward. Inhale, down dog. And breathing in, right leg reaches up high. And we're going to cross the right foot behind the left leg, about hip width distance apart. Let's lift the right arm off the mat, bend the knees and pivot so you're almost sitting on the heels. And then inhale, press into the heels, lift the hips, maybe come into full wheel, flipping the hands. You can also keep the left arm in the air. It's completely fine. Sorry, the right arm in the air, not the left arm. Slowly, let's lift the right arm back up, rebend the knees, and then make your way back into three-legged dog. For pigeon pose, right knee to the right elbow, let's slide the left leg back. We're going to take a twist here. Right arm takes one little step forward, left arm reaches up, and then let's thread the needle, left arm underneath the right shoulder. If this twist is uncomfortable, you can of course come out of it and just take a normal pigeon pose, whatever suits your body best in this moment. And let's walk both hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the left toes underneath your left heel, and we're going to make our way back to three-legged dog or directly downward facing dog. Now as you breathe in, left leg reaches up high. Let's cross the left foot behind the right leg, about hip-width distance. Lift your left hand off the mat, pivot on the balls of the feet, bend the knees, hips to heels, and then inhale, lift the hips, left arm reaches behind you, maybe coming into a full wheel here if it's in your practice, if it feels accessible. We're going to come back out the same way we came in. So flipping the right hand and then rebending the knees, left arm reaches towards the back of the mat. Come into three-legged dog, left leg in the air. For pigeon pose, left knee to left elbow. Let's slide the right leg back. And then threading the needle, right arm reaches underneath the left shoulder. And slowly walk the hands underneath the shoulders. Let's make our way back to downward facing dog, tucking the right toes underneath the right heel. And from down dog, you can walk all the way up to the top of the mat, nice and slowly. Halfway lift as you breathe in. Exhale, fold forward, maybe grabbing a bind, thinking of length through the spine and length through the backs of the legs. Try to bring your weight in the front parts of the feet. Keep reaching crown of the head down. Maybe give your head a little shake, yes and no. And relax the shoulders. On your next inhale, take a halfway lift. Now bend the knees, lift the heels, and let's wrap the arms around the knees, grabbing opposite hand to opposite elbow for yarn ball. Slowly release. Let's bring the knees down on the mat. Now there's two options. There's an optional camel pose towards wheel, or you can directly go all the way down to your back. So for the camel pose, make sure your toes are tucked. Let's reach the arms up above the head. Really strong glutes. Look behind you, and then we're going to bring the hands on the mat and make our way into a wheel. From wheel, you can hold it, and then we will all meet on the back. So just know that that transition was completely optional. We all meet on our back with the feet wide apart, knees together. Let's knock the knees side to side. And if it feels good, you can hold it. So maybe you knock the knees over to the right, and then the right foot goes on top of the left knee. It feels really nice in the left thigh, over the left hip. And then go ahead and switch sides. Knock both knees over to the left. Maybe the left foot goes on top of the right knee. And let's come back through center for happy baby. We're going to grab the outer blades of the feet, maybe rock side to side. You're more than welcome to take any other variation that feels good for you. Finally, let's bring the knees into the chest one last time. And then breathing in, maybe lifting the forehead up to the knees, squeezing every single muscle in your body as tightly as you can, and letting it all go into our final Shavasana. You can take a deep breath in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth, let it go. Notice how you're feeling here in Shavasana. Notice if you can feel the after effects of the practice in the body. Maybe the heart space feels more open. And I invite you to ask yourself and look inwards. What is the energy of love for you? What does that look like? How do you show yourself love and compassion each and every day? What emotions are you holding onto from past experiences that are maybe blocking you from being fully present in the moment? Try to stay here in your Shavasana even through moments of discomfort, and use this as an opportunity to get to know yourself better, to self-reflect, and most importantly, to rest, to heal, to give yourself love. You can slowly start to wiggle the toes, the fingertips, and stretch out in any direction that feels good. Keeping the eyes closed, we can make our way out of Shavasana and into a comfortable seat. I wanted to thank you so much for being here today, for joining me for this practice. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.